Hello, welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're covering British advanced snap shooting. A few years ago, the Bloke On The Range, in a collaboration with British muzzleloaders, put out a video on advanced snap shooting. This comes from a British Army regulation in 1944, and this drill was designed to be done with a Lee Enfield pattern rifle. And the basic parameters of the drill is you have a 100-yard range, and you engage targets at 90, 80, 70, 50, and 30 yards. Now, when this drill was envisioned, you were on a range that had rifle butts, and the various targets were mounted on a stick, and when the call was received from the firing line, one of the butt pullers would run the target up on a stick, and the shooter would engage. We feel with these pop-up targets we've designed here that we're achieving essentially the same goal. These were connected on a swivel mount with a large string. The puller was behind the shooter, and the safety officer would give a signal to the puller. The puller would activate the target for 2 seconds, and it was just an internal inside their head count of 1001, 1002. Let the target go back down. And from there, the shooter had his time to engage, and he either succeeded or did not. And then they moved on to the next target. The target system worked pretty good, but there were a few bobbles, so we hope you excuse us for those. What sighting systems did we use? Well, as a control, we used an aperture and post on an M1 Garand. And the reason that was chosen, it was a rifle that was available in 1944. It has the exact same sighting system as a Lee Enfield. And before anybody freaks out in the comment section, no, it really does. It has a rear aperture, a front sight post protected by 2 wings. That's the same sight picture. There was a consideration of going through all the evolution of American service rifles from the M1 Garand to the M14, M16A1, M16A2, M16A4, M4 pattern, and it was decided against doing that. And the reason that is if you look at those sighting systems, they're all exactly the same. It's a rear aperture with a front sight post with 2 wings curved to the outboard. So there was nothing to be gained by that, as this is a test of sighting systems and not of weapon systems. So what we did is, moving on from the control, we went to the post and aperture of the AK-74 pattern rifle, and then we went to an AR pattern rifle mounting a red dot, in this case a Sig Romeo. Then we moved on to an LPVO, but that was used at fixed magnification on a Remington 700 bolt action. Again, bolt action versus semi is relevant in this test because it's 1 shot per engagement. After 2 runs of the LPVO, we finally capped this off with ACOG mounted on an M16A4 clone. It was an ACOG TA31F, so it's for magnification. Now, the regulations stipulated that you were supposed to use a number 1, a number 4A, and a number 5 target to do this drill, with some local variations allowed per range when it's necessary. In the modern day, those are not easily readily available targets. And yes, I could have taken the effort to cut them out of cardboard and make them myself, but nah, why do that? That requires effort. So what we did is we used the modern analog. And what is the modern analog, you might ask? Well, let me show you. In lieu of the number 1 target, we used an IPSC/IDPA target. It's roughly about the same size based on the measurements given. So for engagements at 90 and 80 yards, this was what was used. In place of the number 4A target that was used at 70 and 50 yard engagements, we literally just cut the target in half and just used the top half. And it's supposed to replicate a person shooting at you with a head and shoulders profile. As you can see, it kind of does that. Last but not least, to replicate the target at 30 yards, just being a head peeking over a parapet, we just used the top third of the IDPA IPSC target. As mentioned earlier, we used the M1 Garand as a control because it had the same sighting system as the Lee Enfield system rifles, and here's what happened.
Who's ready? And then add a walk. Let's go. And this one, is that a hit?
Yeah,
Oh,
got
great.
it on the downstroke.
Yeah, oh yeah,
And
got it on the
there.
downstroke because I thought it went right over the top. So you hit it. And that one's clearly hit right in the neck.
And right in the neck. All right. So, baseline established with an M1 Garand, a World War II rifle, the equivalent of the Lee Enfield. You know, same essential sighting system, so we got the same results that the Bloke and the British muzzleloaders got. So I was able to get all the shots required. We used the very sophisticated timing system as the person who's pulling the target basically counted to themselves so the shooter didn't hear it, and they just pulled it and went 1001, 1002, and then let it back down. That's basically the same method that the Bloke and British muzzleloaders were using in their video. And if you watch their video, they'll talk about in the manual it required that when it was the shooter's time to see a target, there was a call placed to the butts, and someone would run a target up on a stick, and it would be engaged that way. So we feel this is a pretty accurate system of how it went down when this test was actually being used. Now the next system we tested was an AK-74 because it had post and notch type sights. These are generally regarded as being less optimal than aperture sights, and so our prediction was that we would get a less optimal result. The M1 Garand gave us a result 5 hits for 5 targets. The AK-74, we didn't do as well, which was as predicted. Here, take a look.
And march. Okay, I thought his first one was high.
Yeah.
So one hit?
One probably missed, yeah.
But he definitely landed both of those.
This felt good. That one I think hit the wood.
No.
Oh,
Yep, got it.
sweet.
Got it. So, 80%. I mean, you walk away with that. That's pretty good.
AK irons, 545.
As you see, our hypothesis was correct. We did not get as good as results with a post and notch type sighting system as we did with an aperture system. So that was expected, and that's the result we got. The shooter did feel, in talking later, that with more practice and more run-throughs that he probably would improve that score, but it was generally felt by all of us that the aperture sights was an advantage over post and notch. From there, we moved on to an AR platform using a red dot. And let's take a look at the run.
Is the fire ready?
Ready!
March!
Just call it when I'm at the right distance. Okay. So did you have one or two last time?
I only had one on this target.
Okay, then I got two.
Okay.
Okay.
You got 2 here.
Yep, we both got 2 on that one.
Yeah, that's easy. Did you get this one? Looks like you did. But, hold on.
Yeah, right there. Shoulder.
Yeah, okay, got it. It's like, wait. Yeah, it's the 5.56.
All right, so more modern sighting system with a red dot sight. It didn't feel any easier than it did with the irons, believe it or not, until I got close up. The 50 and the 30 definitely felt like they came faster than the irons did. The results, however, seem to be the same. As you see, we got 5 for 5 on that run. The strangest thing, though, as you can tell from my commentary in the video, I wasn't feeling that I had any advantage with the red dot, which was kind of an strange outcome. The predictive was originally that the test is so hard that a modern sight would not give you any advantage. What I didn't expect was the fact that it wouldn't increase my confidence. If anything, my confidence went down over using the aperture sights on the M1. Very strange outcome. Moving on, we went to an LPVO, but we left it at a set magnification. In this particular case, it was mounted on a Remington M700 rifle that was set up by the owner as intention to be a scout rifle. So we thought this would be a good drill to use it in. And here you see their run. Wood.
Yep. March.
Keep marching. Keep marching.
That, through optic, is a completely different experience.
How do you think you did before we looked?
Honestly, I think I hit 1.
Let's go find out. You got this one drilling right through the 4x4 and picking it up.
Yeah, it looks like it may have hit it right through there.
Yeah, and there.
And it's going down, yeah.
And it changed direction through the woods. So that's an interesting thing. So it came in and it came out and into that, and the wood caused it to change direction.
Yeah.
So you skipped off hard cover and got him.
Oh,
over here you got 2
okay.
shots. All right.
Well, one of those I felt like I got, like that center, shot. I was like, okay, that felt good, but the other one is just up there, and I couldn't get in the glass quick enough. And this one was I don't know, but clearly I shot over the top of it.
Yeah, we came up.
Well, not as bad as I thought, but with magnified optic, holy crap, that's a whole different feel.
So it's actually not an advantage at these ranges.
Nah.
As you can see, we had another surprising outcome. Magnification apparently works against you at these close-up distances while snap shooting. Next, we did the LPVO run on an AR type pattern, but this time the shooter made a point to adjust the LPVO as they went through the course, and the results were dramatically different.
Fire ready?
Ready.
March.
Well, let's see how I did before I say anything about that.
Yeah.
Well, first impressions, was it easier than the iron sights on the Grand, or?
I say yes, personally. One thing that I really liked, and we'll see if this holds up, is that I was able to crank my scope. I was going at a 4.5 power down to about a 2.5 power before I engaged the last target.
Ah, so you actually used the variable while you were doing it.
Yes, which I think is useful.
And looks like you got rewarded with a couple hits there, so that worked clearly there on the 90 and 80 target.
Nice.
And 2 hits at 70 and 50. And right there in the paster. So, okay, 5 for 5. So, definitely better than the Grand Run.
That worked out. I think I like it. I think it is easier. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay.
Like I said, being able to crank the scope out before engaging that last target at close range really was huge for me.
So on this run, by making adjustments to the LPVO during the course of fire, the shooter was not hampered by the magnification as much as the previous shooter was, and felt that it was a definite advantage to him shooting this course of fire versus when he did the course of fire with the M1 with just the aperture sights. Finally, we did run through this using an M16A4 clone with an ACOG mounted to it. Just basically, this is the rifle you would have been issued in Afghanistan if you were in a Marine Corps infantry line unit. And let's check out how the run went.
March. Nice kneel stand. It's like he was Catholic. He was genuflecting.
Well, I know I missed that one.
Yep. Let's go take a look.
Nope.
Wow.
Nope, that's kind of what I felt.
Yeah.
And maybe that chunk in the wood there.
You think?
But
Yeah,
that's a
maybe.
miss.
Wow, look at that. Huh. I think,
Drilled him in the throat.
yeah, that was the one. I think when you knelt down, seriously, you lost time there.
I lost too much time.
Yeah, I think that's what happened there. And this one I saw you just lost time. It went down.
It was almost like, because this is an ACOG 31F, so I think it's 3.5 power. I think I have too much magnification for this drill.
Yeah.
And a small eye box. So 4 power, it was 4 power. But like you come up, it's small eye box, you got to find it, and right about the time you're stabilized, the target's going away. I did not feel confident on the first 2 shots, and the results reflect it.
And I think that's exactly what Davis was saying about the LPVO, and he was smart enough then as he came closer in to grab the quick dial and change it down to a lower magnification. But with any kind of significant magnification, I think I'm struggling to find it in the glass.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
This, I always felt this was a sighting system test, not a real test of the weapon system per se, because I think any weapon system inside 100 yards can perform this task. You could probably even do it with a PCC. What I did find out today is that these different sighting systems is what affects you. So with a baseline of post and aperture, we tried a red dot, and I got about the same results, although I felt more confident with the irons. We saw the LPVO really shine. And this 4 power ACOG, while an excellent sight by every measurement, with its small eye box to get it just right, it ate up time to get on target. If you've watched the Bloke's video, or if you haven't yet, when you do watch it, you'll notice that one of the things they said was with a 2-second exposure, the standard for the marksman was to get his shot off at about the 1 second mark. So that's a pretty quick time frame. None of these sighting devices do I feel I got my shot off right at the 1 second mark. It might have been possible, didn't have a shot timer with us. So, but feeling wise, no, I didn't really feel like it. Although even when we got the shots off in the regulated time and got the regulated hits, still didn't feel that quick. So what did we learn from this drill? Well, we learned 1, it's a fun drill. 2, it doesn't look easy, and it's not easy. This was a challenge in 1944, and it's still a challenge here in the 21st century. The third thing we learned is that modern sighting systems can be an advantage. They also can be a disadvantage depending on the sighting system that you used. And the fourth thing we learned is the axiom that's out there that red dots don't make things faster, but they can make them easier, may apply here. And the reason I say may is, as you saw earlier, while I used it and I got just as good as results I got with iron sights, I didn't get the higher level of confidence. I do think with more run-throughs though, my hypothesis is that the red dot will make it easier. This is a very fun drill. It is labor intensive. You do have to have your friends with you to help you out, pulling targets, calling targets, and all that stuff. But it's well worth it. We hope you found this video about advanced snap shooting helpful and informative. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in for future shooting technique videos.